Thank you all for coming to NAfME's second masterclass of our semester. With the wonderful Tiffany Powell, we're going to talk about ukulele in the general music classroom. My name is Reed Ellery. I am the president of the NAfME chapter here at IU this year. Tonight from our executive board, we also have our treasurer, Ms. Lisa Carey, and our wonderful graduate student representative, Mr. Sean Bradley. And so just stay on top of your emails from good old Ms. Buckland about various things upcoming with our chapter here for the rest of the semester, for the rest of the year, all that good stuff. We have an I-201 sign-in sheet for those of you who need the masterclass credit, and it'll stay up here until the end of the presentation, so if you missed it at the beginning and you want to grab it at the end, that's all cool. Otherwise, I'm going to hand it over to Tiffany.
Thank you, Reed. All right, so I know that some people need to head out early for ensemble or class. That's totally fine. Just make your way maybe out the back door. I would appreciate that. And just as a short introduction, my workshop today is called the ukulele, or if we were in Hawaii, it would be ukulele, in the elementary general music classroom. And before I jump into things, I actually just wanted to start with a song, but we won't be playing the ukulele right now. I'm going to play, but you guys are going to sing. So you can actually just place your ukuleles on your lap right now and sit up straight. So show me your best singing posture. What song are we singing? Who knows that one? Yeah. The two kids in the front did not raise their hands. That's okay. It's pretty easy to catch on. Or you can catch on to it pretty easy. So if you don't know it, you don't have to sing right at the beginning. But once you kind of get the gist, you can jump in. All right, so I'm playing. You guys are singing with your best singing voices. I will cue you in. We're going to do verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus. Give me a thumbs up if you understand what we're doing. Awesome. Okay, here we go. Verse 1.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play.
Sounds great.
Where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
Chorus.
Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
Verse 2.
Oh, give me a land where the bright diamond sand flows leisurely down the clear stream, where a graceful white swan goes gliding along like a maid in a heavenly dream.
Chorus last time.
Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
Last line again.
And the skies are not cloudy all day.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Beautiful singing voices, and I saw that by the end, everyone had joined in. Awesome. All right, so I wanted to give you an overview of the workshop before we start. Because I'm a type A kind of person. So first, I'm going to talk about why is it important, why is it valuable in the general music classroom, and then I will go into ideal demographic of students that it appeals to and works for, goals of a classroom teacher, materials and setup, which is more the logistical side of things if you wanted to start your own ukulele program in a school. So that's kind of the first chunk. And the more boring chunk, I guess, the lecture portion. I will try to keep that pretty short because number 5 is the most fun part, the sample lesson. You guys are going to pretend to be 4th graders. Some of you have to pretend you're like in the 4th grade. But that will take up the majority of our workshop today. And I'll try to start that fairly soon. Then we are going to debrief that lesson together. And then I'll go over some additional resources if you want to look into it further. So why the ukulele? Several reasons. There's a very successful precedent all around the world, but especially in Canada. I forget the actual percentage, but I think it's around 90% of public schools have a ukulele program, which is crazy. They started it back in the 60s, two people in particular who really championed the cause, and then it just swept across the nation very quickly. So we see that it's been successful somewhere else, so I think the ukulele movement is starting to happen here in the United States. The ukulele is highly popular and motivational. Just go on YouTube, there's countless videos of people playing the ukulele and giving tutorials. It's easy to learn, relatively inexpensive, it's portable, versatile, and there's multicultural learning opportunities. So I actually wanted to jump ahead a slide and talk about this last point, and then I'll go back to that slide. So take a look at this picture, and I want you to tell me, you can raise your hand, where do you think this picture took place? It's okay to guess, it's okay to not give the right answer. Where do you think this picture was taken? Yeah?
Oregon.
Where?
Oregon.
Oregon? Oregon? Do you want to talk a little bit more about that? Yeah? Or do you have an answer?
Mexico.
Could be Mexico. Any other guesses? Yeah.
Spain.
Okay. Hawaii, anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Anywhere else? How about who is in this picture? Actually, go ahead and just yell it out. Who's in this picture? Mostly men.
They're all
Okay.
dressed the same, except for the couple in front.
Okay, so there's two men in the front, there's two children as well.
They're in grass skirts, the children.
Yes. So maybe that speaks to the culture they were in. Hawaii, we know they wear grass skirts. Okay. There was another question I was going to ask. Oh, what instrument are they playing? Ukulele. Okay, so those are all educated guesses, and they're mostly right, but not quite. So not everything is as it seems, right? We know that you can't judge a book by its cover. So this picture did take place in Hawaii. These men are mostly from Portugal, but they moved to Hawaii, so they're immigrants moving to Hawaii. They're called the Hawaiian Band, even though they are Portuguese. This right here is John Philip Sousa, the very famous American conductor and composer, who is actually of Portuguese descent. So that's why he made trips out to Hawaii to observe and work with this band in particular. These children, I'm not sure, I wonder if they're children of the band members or they're native Hawaiian children, but look how sad they look. Maybe because they don't have a ukulele in their hands, that's my theory. But also it was sort of the tradition of that time period to not smile in pictures. It was like a sign of formality. And so maybe when they told them that, they're like, oh, it should look sad. Anyway, this is a very interesting picture because I think even just one picture like this can open up so many opportunities to learn about the history and the culture that's behind the ukulele. Not only Hawaiian, but Portugal as well. And of course, you can play and learn a lot of songs from around the world on the ukulele. Ideal demographic. So it's been proven ages 9 and up benefit the most from the ukulele. And so in elementary schools, that translates into grades 4 through 6. That's most ideal. However, grade 3 is a possibility. It just might take them a little bit longer to pick it up. And then 7 and up, of course, as well. But there's no general music, or most schools don't have a general music class in middle school or high school. And so maybe that would translate into an after-school ukulele club or integrated into a music appreciation class, something like that. All right, here are just some of the classroom goals that a teacher who has started or is building a ukulele program should strive for. To master basic chords, strum patterns, and finger picking. To to sing and play simultaneously. I think this aspect is so great about the ukulele. The recorder is valuable as well. You can't sing while you play the recorder, obviously. Playing by ear and maybe improvising as well. So this is something I'm challenging myself in because I was classically trained. And so when I played home on the range, I was like, Tiffany, you are not going to use music. You're not going to use a lead sheet, even though I really wanted to because I'm trying to train my ear. And so the ukulele is a great way to do that. You would want to cover a variety of traditional, folk, children, movie, musical, holiday, and pop songs. And this is not an exhaustive list, so you can add to that. But there's so many different songs you can learn on the ukulele, and you should really take advantage of that. Logical, stepwise, and well-paced sequencing, as always in the general music classroom. Student-centered learning, and so giving students the opportunity to pick their own songs, and even have students come up to the front of the class and perhaps lead the other students in learning a new song. We should definitely have opportunities like that in the classroom. Differentiated instruction. Does anyone know what that is or would like to share? Maybe our E524 students, we talked about this recently, or Reed, go ahead.
It's providing the same information through a bunch of different outlets and a bunch of different formats so that whatever format or outlet works best for an individual, they're all there for the people to have.
Yeah, and that goes along with universal design for learning as well. Definitely, that's very well said. And so being able to tailor a lesson plan so it reaches many different kinds of students, especially if they are at different skill levels or abilities. And so that is definitely going to happen with ukulele. There are going to be students who come in who have previous experience, or even if they don't, they're going to progress at different levels. And so giving options for students who might be progressing faster so that they can still find the lesson musically challenging and satisfying. Parental involvement, this is really key because quality ukuleles cost quite a bit, more than a recorder. I wouldn't say it's very expensive, but like $100. Like the ukulele I have, well, it's a little bit more because it's better quality, but $100 to $125. And I'll talk a little bit more about cost in a little bit, but you can't give, most likely, unless the school has a lot of funding, but you can't give every student a ukulele to take home and practice. It's probably going to be a classroom set of ukuleles. And so getting parents involved and excited means that not only do they support the ukulele program, but maybe they will consider purchasing a ukulele for their students or for their children to practice at home. And then optional performance opportunities, just so the ukulele program has presence in the school. All right, materials, so we're kind of moving to the logistical side of things. I did some research. There are definitely other brands of ukuleles out there, but Kala and Ohana seem to be sort of the best in terms of quality, but also remaining somewhat affordable. And so it's going to be between $75 and $150 each. For 4th through 6th grade, aim for the concert size. And so that's what I have here. Slightly bigger than the soprano. Just the research has been done with hand sizes that this actually works out the best for 4th through 6th grade. But in case there are students who have smaller hands, getting 5 soprano ukuleles as a backup is great. So that equals out to approximately $3,500 for a classroom set of ukuleles, which is substantial. So you would have to advocate for funding. Let's say the school doesn't have very much to give. You can cut this number in half and have the students work in pairs. That's okay too. Or you can also do fundraisers, community fundraisers, school-wide fundraisers, just getting people excited. You can ask for ukulele donations in the community as well, things like that. So be creative and don't give up if it's hard. Getting 30 electronic clip-on tuners, eventually, or you might start out having to tune the ukuleles yourself, but eventually you want the students to be able to tune them as well. So getting electronic tuners, which you clip on to the ukulele, is great. A large freestanding rack or U-bracket wall mounts. And so here's the wall mount, and it actually looks really cool if you have 30 of them up on the wall. But you can also get a freestanding rack so you can push it around the school. Getting a quality method book. It doesn't have to be this one, but I really like this one. It's Ukulele in the Classroom. These are the two that championed the movement in Canada. So they're very well known, and actually I have them up here, so after the workshop you can come up and take a look. But there's very clear lesson plans in there. You don't have to follow it page by page, obviously. Use it as a guide and a resource. 15 student editions for when you want to use music. You don't always have to use music. And then 1 teacher edition, which provides sort of extra guidance. 15 music stands and 30 straps like I have for my ukulele. It can prevent them dropping ukulele and extending how long the ukulele survives. Oh, before I move on, are there any questions so far? Make sense? All right, setup. I promise we're getting to the lesson soon. Okay, so standard tuning is G, C, E, A. We'll do that a little bit in the lesson. You want to ideally tune once a day. Every other day might be more realistic. Again, you might start out tuning, but then eventually if you have the students tune, then they'll be in tune all the time. Having large chord diagrams like this, laminated at the front of the classroom, let's say you can just put it up on the board. The most common chords, so it's easily referenceable, is great. Kind of like they have like the tone ladder for solfege up on the board. Having an overhead projector and lesson plan templates that you can easily fill out as the semester progresses is key. And then optional is to have a funding portfolio, because as you want to build the ukulele program, and hopefully you can get more and more, you'll have to advocate for funding. And so even having like video clips of the students playing, written reflections by the students saying, the ukulele is so fun, and this is why I like it, and this is my favorite song that we learned, stuff like that will really go a long way when you're trying to get funding from the administration. Sample lesson. Yay! All right, so I know not everybody has a ukulele, so I would really appreciate if you can just be mindful of that and maybe share. We're going to do a couple different songs, and so maybe you can kind of switch off with ukuleles. Bear in mind. Okay, I want everyone to channel like their 4th grade self, okay? Like we're being silly, we're having fun, we're singing. It is okay to make mistakes. Can you guys all say it is okay to make mistakes? It is okay. It is like more than okay to make mistakes. I know Jacobs doesn't always like advertise that, you know, but in a class or a workshop like this, it is okay to make mistakes. Really quick, so this is for 4th grade beginners. It would take place early to mid-fall semester, so really they've only been taking the ukulele or learning the ukulele for a few weeks. This is the prior knowledge that they have. It's not very much. Basic anatomy of the ukulele, 2 basic strumming patterns, left-hand finger numbers, and 12-bar blues, understanding what the 12-bar blues are. And then our goal is to review all of that prior knowledge, to learn 3 basic chords, C, F, and G, utilize all chords in playing and singing at least 2 songs, preparing the A minor chord, so not necessarily saying A minor, but having them experience it, and then differentiated instruction, which Reed talked about earlier. Reed is in a different place now than okay, we have 4 rules before we start our lesson today. Can everyone wave your left hand? Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I want you to go, number 1. Be respectful.
Number 1, be respectful.
Number 2, work together.
Number 2, work together.
Number 3, handle with care.
Number 3, handle with care.
Number 4, bell means quiet.
Number 4, bell means quiet.
Good. Classroom management tool right here. Okay. Good. So if you hear that, that doesn't mean you're in trouble. It's just, it can be a lot of noise when we're all playing together. And it's very important that you hear my instructions. So if I ring this a couple times, please put your ukuleles in your lap, or you can mute it like this. Everyone try that right now. Just mute it with your hand. Good. Because I know we can get itchy fingers sometimes and want to play. All right. Everybody touch the head of the ukulele. If you don't know where that is, you can look up here. Touch the bridge gently. Touch the body. Tap it a couple times like this. Yeah, you don't want to hit it, just very gently tap. nut. Yeah. Good. Not everybody knows this. Touch the nut. Touch, but do not turn the string, guys. Just touch it. Nice. How many are there? Yell it out. 4. You got it. 1 for each string. Can I have a volunteer tell me what this is called? The neck. Yeah, Destiny. The neck? Yes, neck or yes, fingerboard. Fingerboard or fretboard. You got it. Nice job. Bonus points for you guys. All right, so we have the neck or the fretboard. We have many frets on the fretboard. So I don't want you to play right now, but I want you to put your finger like this on the first fret. Everyone say first fret. First fret. Slide it down to the second fret. Third fret. Fourth fret. Fifth fret. We're going to stop there. When you get to harder and harder songs, you'll go past the 5th fret, but we're not going to do that for a while. Okay? So just the first 5 frets. Can someone tell me what this hole in the middle is called? Everybody's got that hole. Yes, Madeline? Sound hole. Sound hole, thank you. So that creates more sound. Okay. Can everyone put your sound hole? Now watch me. When you strum, you don't want to strum directly over the sound hole. You actually want to strum a little bit above it. So watch me first. Try that. Not too far above. When you strum, you want to use a certain part of your finger. Now, some people use their thumbs, and later on, if you feel like that's more comfortable, you can use your thumbs. But for right now, wave your right hand. Hello.
Hello.
Good. Hi. And then I want you to bend your index finger, okay? And then you're going to use this side of your index finger to strum. So try that again. And look where you're strumming. It should be directly above the sound. You got it. Very nice, thank you. We learned 2 strum patterns before. Everyone say 2 strum patterns.
2 strum patterns.
The one we just did, down, 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 down. Okay, you guys did that awesome. Let's try that again, just one time through. Ready, say down.
Down, 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 down.
Nice. Now, a little bit more complicated. Let's just say it first. Listen to me. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Ready, go.
Down, down, up, down, up, down, up.
Keep saying it. Keep saying it. Ready, go.
Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Down, up, down.
Ready, your turn. Remember to use your index finger. Show you when you sit. You're actually going to, this is the best way I have found, you're going to cross your right leg, you're going to rest your ukulele on that. Instead of trying to hold it against your body, rest the body of your ukulele on, yes. Isn't that easier? Now try strumming down, down, up, down, up, down. Ready? Go. Doesn't feel super comfortable, it is fine to use down, 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 down. All right, please hold up your ukulele against the screen so it matches. Okay, we have, don't play just yet. G, C, E, A. Everyone sing that. Ready, sing.
G, C, E, A.
Beautiful, very mature 4th grade voices. Okay, now I want you to sing it again and listen. Like, so when you pluck it with your thumb, you can listen like this and make sure it matches those pitches that you're singing. Ready, go.
G, C, E, A.
One more time.
G, C, E, A.
Nice. That sounds pretty good, but if you were listening and it doesn't sound quite right, can you raise your hand? Okay, read. Anybody else? Okay, so I'm going to actually have Miss Jocelyn help you tune. Our wonderful teaching assistant today. Is there anyone else? It's totally fine. We want to make sure that it's all tuned. I think this one's a little bit off, right? Here, why don't I help you? You guys practice your strumming patterns while we tune. Go ahead. If your ukulele is already perfectly tuned, go ahead and practice your strumming patterns. He specializes in elementary music. Anyway, he said the same answer as you, Jacob, but it's actually not correct. Good try. I mean, a professor said the same thing, so it's tricky. Does anyone else want to guess? Yeah, Julianne.
Your pointer finger is 1.
Ah.
And it goes on from there.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4. You got it. When it comes to the ukulele or even the violin, your thumb doesn't touch the frets. It's holding up the neck, right? So you got to keep these fingers, and this is going to be finger number 1. Okay, so let me show you. Good. Everyone hold up your left hand. Hello. Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you forget ever, just think about how we did the rules. Number 1, be respectful. Number 2, work together. Number 3, number 4. Okay, so think about that. I know it's tricky. Like, I'm a pianist, and so whenever I say finger number 3, I want to do this finger number 3, but it's actually this finger, right? It'll take a little while, but just kind of wrap your minds around that. Any questions so far? Okay, good. Now, you're looking at your palm, or you're looking at the top of your hand, can you turn it? Now we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? Go. Number 1.
Number 2. Number 3. Number 4.
When we play the ukulele, our palms are facing up, right? Yeah? Okay, so just go ahead and you can do it on any fret, any string. We're just practicing right now. You're not going to play, but just put your number 1 down. Number 2, anywhere. Number 3, number 4. Nice. Okay, good. I know this is tricky, but we will get the hang of it, I promise. We are going to learn our very first 2 chords. All right, so C, the most common, C for common, we are going to put our 3rd finger. Does everyone wave your left hand? Can you wiggle your 3rd finger? you. Okay, you are going to put that on the 3rd fret. Everyone say 3rd fret.
3rd fret.
A string. So remember, this is G, C, E, A. You're going to put on A string. So everyone take a couple seconds and find 3rd fret A string, 3rd finger. Okay. Can everyone check your neighbor? If they don't have it exactly correct, help them out a little bit. It is okay to make mistakes. Nice. All right, we're going to do it down, 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 down strum. Ready? Go. Down, 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 down. Keep going. Make sure you're strumming slightly above the sound hole, right? That sounds beautiful. Very nice, thank you. Now we have a very tricky chord because we're not just using one finger. How many are we using? 3. 3. And we're using 1st, 2nd, and 3rd finger. Now, I remember I was having a hard time with this when I first learned the G chord. I thought of it as a shape. What shape does that make here? Yes, a triangle. That really helps. So there's a triangle. Good. So go ahead and find this one first. You're going to put your 1st finger, finger number 1, on the 2nd fret. They're actually both on the 2nd fret. Everyone say 2nd fret.
2nd fret.
Good. Finger number 1 is on which string?
C.
Good guess. C, actually. G, C, right? And then A. So can you find those 2 fingers? Once you find it, turn to your neighbor and check. This one here, so you're going to have to make room for it. Nice. All right, when you're ready, add this 3rd finger here. Finger number 3, which is on 3rd fret. Everyone say 3rd fret.
3rd fret.
What string is this?
E.
E string. Everyone say E string.
E string.
Good, so keep those 2 fingers there and then make a triangle. Do you see the triangle? Cool. All right, we're going to strum. Down, down, ready, go. That sounds like a great Nice. Now let's practice going back and forth in between. That is where the tricky part is, so we're going to practice this quite a bit. If you already know it, just hang with us, okay? We're going to get to playing some songs soon. Find your C again. We're not going to play, so you can actually mute with your other hand. I want you to practice moving from chord to chord, just focusing on your left hand. So watch me first. We're going to go C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. Join in. C, 2, 3, 4, G. You can look down. Ready again. C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. Keep going.
C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4.
Nice. So here's a trick, really quick. You guys are doing a great job so far. Do you see how your 3rd finger moves? How does it move? Yes, Elijah.
Up a string.
Up? Well, it moves,
Down.
let's say, I'm just going to say
Oh.
A string to E string, but yeah, you got the right idea. So when you go from C and you switch to G, you just have to move that 3rd finger over 1 string, right? That's a trick. Let's try it again. Ready, go. C,
2, 3,
4, G,
2, 3, 4,
C,
2, 3, 4,
G,
2,
3, 4. You got it. Okay, let's try it with strumming now. It's okay if you don't quite have it yet. We're going to get a lot of practice over the next few minutes. Who knows this song? All right, I know this song is kind of like babyish, okay? But I wanted to start out with an easy song to kind of ease us into it, and I promise we'll get to some more fun songs later. Let's take away the words. I promise we will sing. But for right now, let's practice going from chord to chord, okay? Don't strum just yet. Let's just practice C. 2, 3, 4. C. 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. Two more C's. C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you feel really confident. If you don't feel so confident, thumbs in the middle. You can be honest. Or thumbs down if you're like, oh. Okay, mostly thumbs up. That's okay if it's thumbs down. We're here to learn. Okay, so we're going to add strumming now. If you're still struggling, moving from chord to chord, you can just focus on your left hand. You don't have to strum at all. But let's give that a try. So it'll sound like this. C,